listening to Peak One Sports.
To the Bungalow Sports Show, presented by Peak One Sports. Go to Peak One Sports on YouTube and subscribe. I am Cole James Rambo. I'm going to say co-host because I need to give you a bigger square, Joey. People like you so much now. I didn't
want to say anything, but I've had a couple people come. They're like, "Hey, man, how come you don't have a bigger square?"
You need a bigger square, Joey. I think you need to renegotiate the size of your.
I was
square.
like, my contract is still under negotiation, so we're figuring it out as we go along.
We'll work on that for next week. Okay.
Okay.
You have my word.
Thank you.
I'll try to get that pushed through the board.
Yeah.
Get Joey.
If I have to go straight to the suits,
you wear such cooler shirts than me. I feel like you need more real estate on the video so they can see your cool shirts.
We got jellyfish with Marlin and Dory.
Well, you are the guy because that's a results shirt, right?
Isn't it Roosevelt?
Results. Well, it's results, isn't it? And the V is the U.
Yeah.
It's one of those newfangled internet type of spellings, where they use other letters.
Tamina.
Or like I have a band Palm Eater without the E in eater, but that's like a real internet thing. You know what I mean?
It's reason number like 1,240 why English is the hardest language to learn. So
and we're just making it harder as the decades roll on.
It is one of those.
It's one of those shirts, and I see them. They're always because I'm a big cool shirt guy, like prints and stuff like that. I used to wear nothing but cool print button-ups. I went through a few years where I just wore that.
Well, I'm a bigger guy, and so the fact that they do button-downs and then they make
that's what I say. You
size.
Buy the shirts that as I'm scrolling, I'm always like, oh man, I should buy that shirt.
Yeah.
And then like I just don't go through like the 3 clicks it takes to like buy it off the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like always in the back of my mind. Oh, they make cool shirts because like they make a lot of cool. They make a lot of mashup shirts.
They
right?
do.
With
they have a whole bunch of collabs.
IPs, different intellectual properties.
Yeah. Actually,
movies,
the last time I was here, on the last episode, I was wearing a black one with marigolds on it, and that's a Coco collab.
Oh,
so
I didn't know. It was a cool shirt, but I didn't know it was a collab.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a Coco collab. This one's Finding Nemo.
The one that always pops up because I'm always looking up dinosaur shit because Andy.
They have a shit ton of
Jurassic Park. They have the one that has like palm tree leaves all over it, but then there's like the little raptor.
Yeah, and he says they call it the clever girl. Yeah.
So nice shirt.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.
All right.
I'll talk to the suits.
Dude, so let me get the suits involved.
We'll get something faxed over to the board. I'll talk to the.
You don't want to handle this internally first before we go out?
I'll talk to the audiovisual department. I'll see if there's something they can do. Maybe stretch it. Maybe without kind of getting the bigwigs involved. If they can just kind of gradually stretch you out over the weeks.
Don't pull it from the corner though. Like pull it just straight down so that I look along it. Yeah.
Joey's out here catfishing everybody.
Yeah, they're like, wow.
I didn't know Joey was 7 feet tall and weighed 125 pounds.
Looking like that dude from fucking Star Wars, the long ass head.
Yeah. Oh man. So, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It was a lot of good games this week. Had a wedding yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome. So weddings are always fun. I mean, I guess there could be some weddings that aren't fun, but like usually when you're a guest, it's fun.
There's no pressure, right? It's not like you're a part of it or anything.
You're gonna get some free food and or free drinks and or cheap drinks. You know what I mean? Things like that. So
it was nice. Yeah, it was nice to just be able to go relax, see some family I haven't seen in a long time.
Sure. Where was it? Was it at?
It was here in Modesto.
Was it what kind of? Was it an indoor venue, outdoor venue?
So we took pictures at. It's called Janet's Flowers here in.
You were in the wedding?
No.
Oh.
But it was like family pictures. Mm-hmm. So we took pictures there, and then we had the ceremony at my aunt's house.
Okay.
And so it was an outdoor wedding.
Right.
A little warm, but there was a slight breeze
It's
to keep it going.
It's a good time of year for that.
Yeah. Like everyone.
I had an outdoor wedding on August 12th.
Oh.
It was very hot.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah, it was very hot.
Yeah, no, well, we were all sitting there, and like I told because my sister came with me, and I was like, man, like I feel like I'm kind of starting to stink a little bit. And then, like, as I started hugging everybody and like, hey, what's up? I was like, oh, we all stink. It's okay.
Everyone's sweaty and
So,
smelly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool.
It is what it is. And weddings are like, and then there's like the weddings where you're in the wedding party, and depending on the people getting married, that can go one or two ways. That can go really fun, or it can go terrible. Because it's like if you got a bridezilla and you're in the wedding party, even if you're on the groom's side, you're still under
hearing it, though.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a lot of setup. There's a lot of practice. There's a lot of stuff. See, when I was in my hetero life mate Christopher's wedding, it was very low pressure, right? And it mostly became, I mean, not only did I kind of know everybody that was in the wedding party, but also like I was up against the dudes that were in the wedding party.
Yeah.
I knew I was 3 or 4 from the bottom of like intelligence. So it's like there was way more dummies than me. So I was like, I'm not getting in trouble first.
Right.
There's going to be a line of dummies getting yelled at and bitched at before they get to me. So it was low pressure. Just kept a nice little buzz going.
I never thought of it that way. That's hilarious.
Right. Because in that situation, it's like, I get it why people get all uptight and shit at weddings, because it's an expensive endeavor.
It's expensive.
And it's like it's all this build up for one day.
Yeah.
And not even one day, a few hours, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and some people dream about this stuff since they were like, she was talking about how she had her Pinterest board for her wedding when she was 15. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of pressure.
It is, because you want the day to be perfect. But she's super, like, my cousin is super low profile like that. I mean, she's just really loving, and she was
not
like,
a bridezilla, just knew what she wanted it to kind of
exactly.
look like.
And we had other people that were helping out with that were helping her with it, and it just everything went smooth. It was great.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Thanks, dude.
How
was your week?
It was good, but before we get to my week, don't forget to go to Betalytics.
Code PEAK1.
Code
25% off.
25% off your profile there. I could have used Betalytics this weekend.
As could I.
Because I dipped my feet back into the betting pool this weekend.
Nice.
And I mean, we'll talk about it later, because we'll talk about the sport that I bet on, and we'll add that into that segment of the show, because I'm in a good mood still right now.
Right.
I don't want to tarnish that. But let's just say I could have used Betalytics.
Yeah, I could.
This weekend.
The bets that I've used Betalytics, I've actually done pretty well. And then the ones that I decide, I think I know what I'm doing, I do not know what I'm doing. So
there you go. My week's been good. Andy is on summer break, so there's just been a lot of me going to work. I'm a lucky guy. I've got myself in a position where I'm my own boss. I kind of make my own schedule. I'm a construction type dude, so it's like the jobs that I do on a daily basis vary time-wise. The amount of hours I work every day kind of vary, right? So like with a kid on summer break who actually like wants to hang out, it's kind of cool. I'll take random days. I'll schedule myself to have as much free time blocked together, because like a lot of times, like anybody who's listened to my podcast over the years, like a lot of them have been recorded at random hours in the middle of the day, because I have a couple hours where I don't have shit to do.
Right.
So I'll come in here, and shit like that. But now that he's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like I've had a kid for 8 years now, but like he's becoming like a real human finally, where like, you know what I mean? He has his own ideas and own shit he wants to do and like stuff like that. So like I've been trying to schedule myself like blocks, like as big a blocks together to hang out with him during the day and like doing random shit. And I'm sure he's a cool kid, but
he is a great kid.
I'm sure his grandma probably gets annoyed with his twerking and farting and fake farting when it's not real farting and things like that. And, so I try to get over here as much as I can, you know what I mean?
Normal dude stuff, right?
So we've been going to a lot of movies this summer, because like we're a big movie family.
So are we.
Ever since COVID, like I've always been a huge movie guy.
Yeah, me too.
But then once like Netflix and streaming started becoming a thing, I was never a guy who was like, I gotta go see this on the day. There's only like a few movies in my life that have been like that. Your Star Wars, your Lord of the Rings, things that when I was younger I wanted to see the day they came out.
The day they came out, I'm not really like that, but I do like make it a point to go to the movies.
Sure, right? But once like streaming and all that stuff started becoming a big part of my life, and then I had a baby for a lot of years, where it's kind of a pain in the ass to take little babies and little kids anywhere. Like, it was a lot of home viewing of movies, right?
Absolutely.
And then COVID came around, and you couldn't do any of that shit for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the shackles were taken off of us, and we were able to go out, and everything was open again, then it's like, oh shit, we were locked up. Let's go see a movie, right?
Right.
And then you go, and then it was just like, oh shit, I forgot how awesome it is to go to the movies.
Yeah,
It's like
it really is.
it's like a little time capsule.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it don't matter. It's like it's the same as it was when you were a kid. They just have maybe some better food, and you can get beer if you want now and shit, and the chairs are more comfortable. But it's like, I just remember being a kid and going to the movies, and it was just it was like you go in there, and the outside world doesn't exist.
Right. It's
for
just
a couple
you
hours.
and the people that are in that theater, and you just, I mean, and now like with the additions of like the loungers, you know, so you can recline. You know, you got your nice, you know, you got your soda and everything.
Well, this brings us to my trip this week to the movies, because we have here in the next town over, Riverbank, California. They have a Galaxy Plus, which is the ones with the big, comfy, plush recliners that go back and stuff, you know, for your seats. It's awesome for a guy like me. I'm a big couch guy. I'm a big recliner guy. Love sitting in my living room and kicking back and watching.
It is such an added comfort that makes the movie so much more enjoyable, because now I go to stadium seats, like at the ones in Antigua, and it's just not the same.
Well,
dude.
and that's the thing, is like I want to take Andy to his first IMAX movie, right? Pick a movie that's like shot crazy, like I was thinking like Dune 2 when it comes out, or something that's like real epic. But then I'm like, damn, do I want to sit through a movie without having because the IMAXs don't have the big comfy seats,
No,
you know what I
don't.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, do I give this experience to my son, or do I just think about my ass comfort? But so this week we went and saw Transformers Rise of the Beast.
We're going later today.
Well, there you go. Fantastic. You'll enjoy it a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Even if you haven't seen any of the other like Transformers movies, like there's a lot of backstory to this one, because it's like you know, obviously some of the same characters, but like it's like I can't remember what the timeline was, but it's like there's a lot of backstory explanation.
Oh, cool.
So like,
cool. But it uses some of the other ones.
Of course, but it's like it's kind of like a side story.
Yeah.
To kind of like add on, but it's great. And so this is not an indictment on the movie, but it is a direct indictment on why I can't go to the movies at night anymore.
Oh no.
Right? Because Andy's at summer break, so like staying up late wasn't a big deal.
Right.
So and it was a brand new movie, so it was like the times were kind of sporadic, and Paris, I mean, I enjoy it. I would never do it myself, but she always buys an extra seat, so we always have the buffer.
Nice.
So like instead of needing 3 seats next to each other, we need 4 seats, right? I mean, so like we got a 7:30 ticket. That's okay, 7:30. Whatever, big deal. I mean, when I'm at home, I'll stay up all night playing NHL. It's no big deal. Cut to about 8:32, and I'm leaned back in the movie theater, and I just hear in my head, "Wake up your dad!" And I just kind of look around, and the movie's going, and I was like, motherfucker. I was out. I was like, I'm one of these people where like, I mean, it's debated in my house a lot whether I have sleep apnea or not.
Yeah.
I say I don't, only because it doesn't impede my sleep. I don't wake myself up from snoring. I don't choke.
Well, you can do it and not know it, though.
Of course. So. But my dad, everybody, I'm in a long timeline of straight up buzzsaw snorers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's the loudness and intensity of it would like, I mean, a small child may go deaf. And, but also just because of the nature of me, right? And like, some of you may not realize, but I'm a little bit ADHD, okay? And I was never diagnosed my whole life with anxiety, depression, ADHD, any of that stuff. And I always had a hard time sleeping, right? And then in my mid-20s, when I finally got diagnosed and started taking medication for such things, I can fall asleep on a dime.
Huh.
Right? Like, I literally just need to be kind of horizontal and close my eyes, and within 30 seconds sometimes I can just be asleep. And as soon as I fall asleep, no matter what position I'm in, like, I just start ripping them, dude.
Wow.
Okay? And Good thing we had the buffer seat because it would have been much more awkward. But Paris was just like, oh my God. She's like, she woke me up immediately. Like it was literally just like one breathe in of a snore. That because it's so jarring, there's no way nobody heard it.
She can sense it,
of course.
So she's
and
no.
And that's when I wake her dad. Like I wasn't even hardly I heard her say it.
Yeah.
So that's how quickly I start snoring. Is before I'm even fully asleep.
You're already snoring.
And she's like, dude, as soon as it happened, she's like, I looked over and I just saw the dude's face that was in the seat on the other side of the buffer. Just look over with a, what the fuck kind of a look, and then that's when she's like, wake up your, she hit Andy. It was like, wake up your dad. And I woke myself up, and I was just kind of like, oh fuck. And I was like, I had to put the fucking recliner down,
right?
Had to like sit on my foot and kind of make myself a little uncomfortable because I'm like, that can't happen again. I'm not a quiet enough sleeper to fall asleep. Like some dads, like this is straight old man behavior. This is my first. That's why I'm wearing the glasses. I'm wearing the fucking old man glasses today because I'm dipping my foot into those old man waters. I can't even make it through a 7:30 showing of Transformers.
Yeah,
you know. So,
well, shoot,
and it was a good movie. So it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that it's 8:30. This is usually when I'm laying down, putting Andy to bed, and then fucking like it's like you get these like your body gets used to these certain habits having a kid for so long,
right? And
like having to put him to bed. You do this at this time. You do everything's kind of structured a little bit. So even though I put him to bed, he's a scaredy cat. So a lot of times I'm laying next to him till he falls asleep, and then so like my body is used to kind of shutting down at between 8:30 and 9:30.
Yeah,
even falling asleep, but then waking up at about 9:30 and then going and playing video games or watching Sports Center or doing watching a fucking movie or whatever. Like, so it's not the time I go to sleep, but it is a time I usually fall asleep.
You start to wind down and stuff. So
you know
your
what I
body's
mean?
just kind of used to it.
So it's like, it's old man shit, dude. I've got no control over my body anymore. Pretty soon I'm going to have to wear diapers just to get through this show.
Well, actually, I have sleep apnea. And so
you have a machine?
I have a machine and everything. And so I have the same issue as you, dude. If I get like a few minutes of just like unbothered time and I put my head back, I'm out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad that I found out why, because my body's trying to kill itself at night. So.
I guess I just need to go get a sleep test because like the thing is like Paris's brother has the quintessential choke. Like literally he'll be sitting in the chair in the living room, and then you'll look over and you'll think you'll have to give him the Heimlich. You'll think he's choking on a piece of steak, but he just fell asleep, and it sounds like he's fucking dying.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I don't do that, and I've like witnessed my dad snoring since he was 25, and is literally just a. It's all in our nose and our sinus passages. It's not even.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, I should do it just to appease and to kind of wave it in front of their face. Like I don't have sleep apnea. I've just got a deviated septum.
That can be corrected though too.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. There's other reasons you snore other than apnea.
Oh my grandfather through his whole life snores like that, buzzsaw snoring, and now he is wearing a sleep apnea mask. So
well, and I saw these there's kind of more low profile ones now. There's like some different stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. They have one that just goes over the nose. They have the pillows that go into the nose.
Well, I gotta start you bringing a sleep apnea mask to the movie theater, dude. Think that guy was pissed that I was snoring. Wait till that thing's fucking chugging along. That's why I get the buffer seat is for my sleep apnea.
Sorry, sir. Yeah.
I'm like, tell the theater, can you run an extension cord, please?
Yeah, right. I have my vamp time set to every 5 minutes, so you will hear something every 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, anyways, old man activities, dude. That's what I'm taking part in. Old man activities. Loosey goosey update. Now, this is classic Cole. Okay.
All right.
I've been doing these super cool pre and post game interviews. Everybody's been liking them. They've been funny. It's been cool. And the 1 week I don't do it. Okay, I didn't do one this week. I didn't do one. It was a little bit. The beginning of the game, or like when I first got to the rink, was a little bit hectic. People kind of showed up sporadically, and then Andy was coming with my parents. So like, and then I knew he had stayed the night at my mom's house. I knew he only had shorts and t-shirts, so I was like, I had brought him like some sweats and a sweater because it's a fucking ice rink and it's cold in there. Right, so like I had these, and I was like, I got to get these to him or get them somewhere before the game starts. And and I ended up having to leave them on the bleachers and then go to the bench, and then they came in like part of the way through the first period, and I'm like pointing over from the bench because I see him over there asking like huddling up next to my mom, and I'm just like, and then finally they got it.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit hectic. So I didn't get a pregame one, and then after the game. I should have got a post game one, but again, and then Andy was driving home with me, so then I was like, I got to get changed and get the fuck out of here.
So how was the game though?
We won in a motherfucking shootout. Wow. We came back from a 3-goal deficit. We scored with 10 seconds left in the game. A one-timer off a face-off. I won.
Ooh, wow.
And then won in a shootout that went 3 rounds. It couldn't have been more pre- and post-game interview worthy. Joseph, and I didn't fucking do it.
Hey, there's always next time.
God, and also I should have done it with Andy.
Yeah.
Because every game Andy's in my entire. I mean, I've been playing hockey for like 13 or 14 years, but he's in his entire 8-year existence, he's never come to a game not only that I scored in, but that we've won. He's never seen me win a hockey game. Yeah. And then he comes, and it's the most dramatic game, too, because, like, it was, like, the first couple goals were, like, back and forth, and then they went up by 2, and then they went up by 3, and we score, and then it's 2, and then the last 2 goals, the game tying and then the one right before that were both off of face-offs. I won a face-off back to the point to Alex, and he won it on a one-timer. Ooh. Or he scored on the one-timer, and then the game tying goal, I won it to the side of the winger to YouTube Dilly. That's what we're Dylan. He's such a good kid. He's in his early 20s, and he's a brother, I think, of is
it Putnam?
No. Dylan Connolly. Or Dylan. I don't know. We got so many new names. I don't know. But his name's Dilly.
Dylan.
Clay calls him Dilly. And he's never played any organized hockey. He's only played in the street in front of his house his whole life.
Uh-huh.
And then he's been watching YouTube videos and watch probably I Train Hockey. Who knows? He's been watching videos since the season started.
Shout out to Sean Walker. Yeah.
And he has improved so much. And then I won a face-off straight to him on, right in front of the net. He was playing left wing right there, and he just fucking whacked it in.
Wow, dude.
Tie game, 10 seconds left. And then we don't do an overtime in the Dirt League. We go straight to a 3-round shootout, and because of time constraints, 3 rounds only. They'll call it a draw.
Oh wow!
Yeah, soccer style. It's lame. But it's a place of business. They got to keep the time going.
No one wants to be playing at 11 o'clock at night.
Right, and remember we had a shootout no, you weren't on the team yet when the Locusts were still at Rip and Roller Hockey.
Yeah,
we had like an 11-round shootout one time. Because like Daniel was on the other team, and he was just like, and he's like the owner of the place was on the other team, and it's like everybody's waiting to play the next game. And we're like 8 rounds into a shootout. Like, yeah, you don't want that in the Dirt League. It's not fun for anybody.
Wow.
But yeah, so there you go.
Can I ask you something? Yeah. With how much you are loving this ice hockey, would you ever go back to roller hockey?
Not in place of.
Okay.
If everybody decided they want to do another night on roller, then yeah, I'd do both.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't go back. No, not as long as this league exists.
Not in the lieu of.
I don't think anybody would, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's just I don't know. There's just something about it. Makes you feel more cool.
Nice.
Get it? Ice. Cool. All right, so that's that. All right, things we missed this week. I figure we needed a segment just specifically because we always talk about how we only do this once a week. So there's a lot. This thing comes out on Monday, and there's a lot of things that happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then when we're thinking about the next show on Friday, Saturday, like, yeah, all the stuff that happened at the end of the week usually makes it on the show. The stuff from the beginning of the week.
Yeah, like
suffers.
I had a whole like breakdown of I think it was game 3 for the Knights versus the Panthers, and I was like, by the time it reached today, I was like, it's
now
not even,
because
we've had two games
since then. Yeah, I was doing that when I was looking at the picks. I'm just like, okay, it's getting pretty scarce in sporting events. You know what I mean? We only got 2 things we're watching, unless you like baseball, and
we are not doing baseball.
We're not
doing it.
We're not doing it until we have no other choice, until the playoffs.
The network is doing baseball.
We're big October guys.
Yeah.
In baseball, we're Mr. and Mr. October. That'll be our baseball shirt. We're going to have a merch store soon, all right? I've been talking with the bigwigs. I currently have a merch store, Bungalow Recording Company, or bonfire.com/Bungalow Recording Company, and that has all my merch from like music stuff and other things I do here in this studio, but we're going to be converting that over to the Peak One Sports merch store. So we
exciting.
This is made to order stuff, so you can order it. It'll you know choose your size, your whatever, and then they'll make a one-off shirt, send it to you. So the prices are a couple dollars higher than if we were making them ourselves. But again, if you show some interest in the merch, then we'll make our own merch, because then we can put more of the money in our pocket. Right. Trust us. If you don't like the prices, we're not making anything off of it. We're just I want to convert this thing over. I want to start making some of our Peak One shirts, because I think I can make it on a whim. I can go in there, make a graphic, put it in the store. People can do it, right?
Yeah.
So when we come up with something funny like Mr. and Mr. October, you know what I mean? I could go make a quick shirt tonight, and it can be up in the store tomorrow.
Yeah. Or if you want to be a sweep daddy, or you want to join the playoff experts.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You know?
We can do it quick. And I like that part about it. But again, unless people show interest in wanting to buy some of the merch, we're going to do it this way. So if you don't like the prices, then, tell people to buy the merch, and then we'll make some real stuff. But it's kind of comparable prices. Yeah. Like I said, you pay $25 for a shirt usually if you're buying a shirt from somebody, right? Or 20 or $25. This shirt might cost you $26 when I say it's more. We're talking dollars here. We're not talking like it's $10 more. Right. It's just because of the on-demand nature of it. There's a company doing all of the work. I'm just making the graphics and telling them what
there's not like a
shirt
stockpile to go off of. Like you said, they're made to order.
Right. So
they're good quality shirts, though. I've bought stuff for the Bungalow Chat show.
Yeah. This Bonfire, they got some good stuff. I've gone through a few different merch sites, like on-demand merch sites, and some of the quality is a little. But Bonfire makes some decent stuff. I get to choose like the brands and the type of shirt, out of a big selection. So stay tuned for that. Now that I've talked about it, I need to on the show tonight, and I gotta fucking figure this shit out. But. I keep forgetting to mention that. Yeah, light a fire under my ass. But anyway, so big October, guys. But that's coming in October. Things we missed this week. We won't talk about it too much. But Live Golf merges.
We're gonna talk about this
with the mother effing PGA. Now this is crazy. Not only because Joey and I have, we're playful dudes. We've had some colorful discussions about this topic, or related topics of taking blood money and things like that from Muhammad Bonesaw Man. That's his new name.
That's his new name, Muhammad Bonesaw.
Bonesaw Man. Instead of Bin Salman.
Yeah.
It's Bonesaw Man.
Oh, nice play on the words.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they cut a guy up and put him in a duffel bag in the Turkish embassy.
Allegedly. I like how you waited for it.
But so the thing about this, all right, because we've talked enough about it. We don't need to talk about.
I think we need to talk about it.
No, but I just like the angle of the money side. Okay. Obviously, money always wins.
Yes, for sure.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right? And the PGA saw Brooks Koepka, a guy who took the live money, win a major. The major right before that, he should have won. He had a little bit of a choke job on the last couple holes.
Yep.
Should have won that one. They got, you know what I mean? They're live golf guys that are placing highly and winning these PGA tournaments. It's not a good look for the PGA.
No, it's not.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of things at play here in that the PGA is basically like, we're gonna, even though
Liv got to get their players back.
Liv doesn't have the viewers yet because they're on CW and they interrupt their broadcasts for other shit. You know what I mean? They don't have the eyeballs technically.
Right.
But obviously they have the skill. They have the guys that people want to see. So I think this goes both ways. Is now Liv gets the PGA eyeballs. It's what they wanted. They wanted to own golf. They want to own the Premier League, and they already got Newcastle. They they want to own. They tried to buy F1. What I mean. They're the on paper, and I say on paper because no one knows how much money these guys really have. It's most likely an infinite amount, but on paper, you're talking what was it? The financial fund or whatever, the umbrella company that's now Live Golf and PGA.
Right.
It has $620 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're saying like an NFL team, the Washington Commanders just sold for what was it? $6 billion, right?
Yeah.
So let's say the most expensive NFL football team is $10 billion, let's say Dallas Cowboys, it'd take $12 billion to pry Jerry Jones' ass out of there.
Right. And this is
$620 billion. So when people are like, "Oh, that'll never happen in our main sports. That'll never happen in football or baseball. They'll never."
Yeah.
Tell the Newcastle fans that.
Well, I'm such an anti-establishment guy that I love the fact that they broke up the monopoly on it. You know?
Okay, I get it. There's plenty of angles, Joey. But the angle I want to take on this show today, specifically, is Monahan, the president of the PGA, the commissioner, whatever the fuck his title is. This fucking guy has just, like, in one move, has literally, I mean, I've been thinking on it for the last few days. Name a bigger scumbag in, like, sports.
Yeah.
Because the reason he's a scumbag isn't because he took the money. It's because he galvanized players against it.
Yeah, he did.
These are terrorists.
Yeah.
He invoked 9/11. He brought families from 9/11 victims to press conferences, and he rallied people that had integrity.
Right.
Even Rory McIlroy, not even from the United States, and wasn't a part of 9/11, but he's a part of the world. You know what I mean? And a place that he wants to be a safer place, a place where money doesn't necessarily let you get away with murder.
Right.
And he galvanized all these. He made Rory McIlroy literally the figurehead of this spear, the tip of the spear of fuck this, we're better than this. You know what I mean? Money doesn't win everything.
Right.
And then he just goes ahead and takes the money himself. Like, what the fuck? And you could have, instead of invoking 9/11, you could have at the time just been like, no, aren't some people we want to get involved with and blah, blah, blah. You didn't have to make it this huge thing, but he had to because he was scared that all these guys were going to take the money.
Right.
Right? Because maybe Rory, maybe a couple of the big guys that were already uber rich are like, fuck it, we don't need it.
Right.
But some of the mid-level guys, a lot of people got offers to go to Live Golf.
Hey, dude, like we already talked about it. If we were mid-level golfers, I would have taken it for sure.
You're talking about healthcare and a paycheck. Oh yeah, not just winning tournaments. You know what I mean?
And it's global.
But it just all the reasons why a construction worker would join a union.
Yeah, for sure.
Because why the UFC fighters, there's constantly people trying to start unions because they're all contract athletes. They don't have health care. They don't have job security. They don't have retirement. They don't have these things that people who have normal Joe jobs most of the time.
Well, it's like if another company approached you and said, hey, you get a work truck, you get a gas card.
So there was all these reasons for mid-level, lower, high, all these guys to take Live deals.
Yeah.
All these reasons that would make their life better, but they didn't. Whether it was American pride or just the world, trying to make the world a better place or showing the world that us as golf, it's bigger he made it bigger than golf, right? He made it a moral choice.
Yes.
And then goes and just does it. Like, think of how you would feel. I mean, obviously, if you're Rory McIlroy, he looks like a fucking tool, right?
Yeah.
Think about, you haven't even heard Tiger say anything. They offered Tiger $800 million.
Yeah, and he turned away from it.
And he turned away from it. He doesn't need it, but I don't care how much money you have, try turning down $1 billion.
Oh, 100%.
It's impossible.
Like, to me, the money is great, right?
If you're,
I set up my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' kids. Yeah.
Anybody anybody you want
starting foundations for
whatever.
people. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do with the money, that's your own choice.
That's literally the epitome, right?
You could go cut up a reporter in a Turkish embassy and get away with it.
Allegedly.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now is like money always wins.
It is a complete scumbag move.
But him,
and they didn't. None of the players from the PGA Tour knew.
They all found out the next morning on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone was in the dark. I mean,
they
maybe
said that, and now that they're playing with these guys who have like 138 million in their pockets, right? Now that they're playing against these guys,
all these guys who didn't get to take that money.
What did they say, that they're getting like PGA stock options or some shit? Like it's not stock options, but they're getting.
And here's the thing too: is like people are just like, oh yeah, whatever about it. It's not a big deal. They're still separate. You know, they're under an umbrella.
Right.
If you look into the details of this thing, the guy that's in charge of the umbrella company, he's like the fucking wealth minister of Saudi Arabia or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's basically the people who run Live Golf, Mohammed bin Salman, like he like, if you look into it, like, they get to make decisions. They get to choose who represents what, like, who gets to invest. They have real business. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not just like a straight money publicity deal. Like, no, they have control over the PGA.
Yeah.
And the one thing I hope comes out of this is I hope PGA golfers finally get to wear shorts. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I care about.
Yeah. I can't imagine being out there in pants like that.
And walking. You don't even get to ride a cart.
Yeah, fuck
carts and shorts. All right, Bonesaw Man. If you can
help the brothers out.
If you can bring us carts and shorts to the PGA. I don't know. I haven't watched Live, but I know they get to wear shorts. It's like a team thing. There's like team golf.
Right.
There's like the 4 aces and like the flaming dingleberries or something. I don't know. There's like teams. So there is some, like, they're trying to make it, because that's the other thing too, is now PGA is now being it was a non-profit.
Yeah.
Now it's a for-profit. So there will be changes. For people who are saying there's not going to be changes, there's going to be changes.
No, wait. I thought Live was non-profit and PGA was for-profit.
Vice versa. That's why Live does all these things to try to make it more of a game show type atmosphere, so people tune in. Teams you can root for, jerseys you can sell, you know, things
the
like that.
Savannah Bananas, but for golf, dude.
What if the Savannah Bananas join Live?
Oh.
Mark it down. MBS, you got MBS's on speed dial?
Yeah.
All right, speaking of someone who didn't take the money from Saudi Arabia, another reason he's better than Ronaldo, Lionel Messi.
Oh, yep.
He is going to enter Miami instead of going to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. We could name a couple other footballers who took a lot of money lately.
They did. They took a lot of money. And actually, I was going to talk about that on the quickies later on, too.
Okay, so we won't get too deep.
Shout out to Messi, though.
Shout out to Messi. He gets a lot of control over this team, which is fine. He should have it. He's the best.
Whoa.
The best. Okay.
Whoa.
I know I'm spitting all over the place.
No, you're about to say something crazy right now.
No. So like the MLS, right? We always get the best players at the end of their careers, right?
Right.
Messi just won a goddamn World Cup, and he's coming to America. This might be the kick that soccer needs in America.
Good. True.
It might be. Because we got David Beckham. He was old. We had fucking, what's his face? The big long-haired supermodel guy. Fucking insert face here, Cole, when you're editing. But like, we get all these guys when nobody gives a fuck about them anymore.
Right.
But this is like a buy high option. Messi is more popular than he's ever been. He's just as good as he's ever been, just off a World Cup.
Yep.
And now he's coming to Miami. Turned down the blood money, which was a lot more. I mean, contractually was a lot more than what he's getting. But when he comes to Miami, he's getting like, obviously, like he's getting shares in the team. He'll probably have say in trades. He's gonna have say in everything. He should. You know what I mean? This is literally like the best player in Major League Baseball playing for the Savannah Bananas right now. You know what I mean? Like, so more power to the mess man. Okay, here. Are you aware of Chiefsaholic?
No, I'm not. Let me in.
football teams, NFL football teams, notoriously, I'm not sure if every team has one, but most of them have their super fans, right?
Yeah.
We're close to the Oakland Raiders, who have a lot of super fans, but we've got the Gorilla Rilla. We had the Darth Vader guy. Like, the Raiders have a lot of super fans, guys who dress up like crazy shit and go to every single home game.
I've seen those guys for, like, the Sharks, yeah.
Yeah, they're super fans, right? Denver Broncos have the barrel guy. Like, people have people.
Yeah.
So, Chiefsaholic is a guy who dresses like a werewolf and goes to Chiefs games. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so he robbed a bank, allegedly, on the way to the conference championship game this last season. And then went on the lam, got arrested, right? Paid his bond, got on a ankle monitor to appear in court or whatever. So this week, Chiefsaholic doesn't appear in court, cuts off his ankle monitor, and is once again on the lam.
Oh, no.
Chiefsaholic. Although I don't want to condone like bank robbery and stuff. Like, I don't. But yeah, so I mean, of all the mascots, I mean, he's not an official mascot. You know what I mean? What if like the Chiefs embraced him as an official mascot while he's on the lam? Chiefsaholic. I mean, he ain't in jail yet, so it's not a bad look. He's not a. He hasn't been convicted of anything.
That'd be hilarious, but if everyone just started showing up in, like, the old school, like, black and white, like, jail uniforms, you know?
But, like, what a perfect thing is, like, you could still go to games.
Yeah.
Before they realized you were the Chiefsaholic guy.
Yeah.
He was probably going, he was all over the place just wearing that. Nobody knows what he looks like.
That's true.
Chiefsaholic. I wonder if he robbed it in the Chiefsaholic uniform. No, because that would give him away.
That would have given him away.
No. You don't see a lot of bank robbers anymore.
No, he just showed his face the whole time, because then he wears the Chiefsaholic stuff and nobody would know who he is.
I'm not that guy. I'm Chiefsaholic.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you go, Chiefsaholic. And then another quick little just random news story I saw this week, and I think it's old, but it's just a cute little thing that I thought was funny. Is Browns running back Nick Chubb, been on my fantasy team a couple times, shout out. He owns a PS5 and an Xbox, but he doesn't game. He has them so he can go on after curfew and see which of his teammates are gaming instead of sleeping. And then he texts them, go to bed.
Get out.
Yeah. That is a power move, dude.
Is he like a captain or something, or?
Well, he's just a guy who wants to win.
Okay.
Right? I mean, in an age where Kyler Murray, like, allegedly has, language in his contract saying that he can only game for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And shit like that. Like, you're talking about kids, some of these motherfuckers, even if you are an athlete, even if you are whatever it is you are, you grew up in a time where everybody plays fucking video games. Everybody, it used to just be nerdy gamers and playing video games. And now everybody plays fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do. It's like everybody realized how cool of an unwinding technique it is to just
turn your brain, turn your brain
sink into a video game for, and that's the problem is that once you get in it, it's easy to play Call of Duty till 3 a.m,
right?
When you've got practice the next day or a game the next day. So I even though I hate snitches get stitches. Right. If he ain't snitching to the higher ups, if he's not going to the coach and being like, they're playing video game. He's just texting them saying, hey, go to sleep, motherfucker. Better
if he texts me to go to sleep, I would definitely go to sleep.
Yeah, he's a man.
I'd be like, all right, my bad, man.
All right, dude. Moving on. Last night we had UFC 289 in Vancouver.
Oh yeah, Amanda Nunes and
Irina Aldana for the title was the main event. If you want a full kind of look on this card, listen to Fight Night Preview coming up this week. We'll go over most of it. We're just going to go over the two main fights on the show today because a lot of people were calling this card a stinker leading up to it.
Really?
And I got to tell you, they were right.
Really?
Yeah. I have this ability, because I love fighting so much, that, I talk myself up and I look at these fight cards, and even though they're like lower level fighters and like not big names, I can really easily get myself talked into a fight card, right? Because I'm gonna watch it anyways,
Right.
So I might as well like build some anticipation if I'm gonna watch it. I don't want to go into it being like it's gonna suck.
Well, also if you bet on it too, it provides a
this is
different
without
atmosphere.
betting even.
Oh, okay.
I'm such a degenerate that I watch them all. I love it. I love the sport. So if I go into it thinking, oh, this one's gonna suck, then it's just self-torture.
Right.
So I might as well just build up in my head as like, all right, this fight's got some potential. You know what I mean?
Right.
Last night, nothing really held up to the potential I had in my mind. And that goes to show, this is where we're going to get into the betting. I could have used Betalytics last night, right? And I could have used that 25% savings on my profile.
Right.
Because yesterday I dipped my toe back in to the betting waters, right? I saw this card. I was like, oh, I'm really, especially the main 2 fights.
Right.
Like, definitely going to be talking about them on the show tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, because even if the card was a stinker, those were 2 very important fights in the landscape of the UFC.
Right.
So I was like, let's put some money down. I haven't bet in months and months, and I was like, let's put a little money in the account and let's do some parlaying.
Nice.
Let's do some propping. You know what I mean? I lost every single bet. That has never happened to me before.
Really?
Like, even if I don't come out ahead, like when betting like the UFC for me, right? Because like I said, I watched.
Was that Peter?
Yeah, it was. But you're thinking about Patrick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick.
But that was
Patrick.
Peter, his other friend. And you want to know what the thing is?
Huh.
Remember I told you about Patrick last week and how his father passed away?
Yeah.
His name's Peter. His name was Peter.
His father's name's Peter.
Right.
Oh.
So Andy constantly, because he's such a mosquito brain, and Patrick, Peter, they're pretty similar. He constantly calls Patrick Peter.
Oh, no.
So I'll just be sitting there in the kitchen drinking my coffee, and I'll just hear, "Oh, sorry, Peter," and then Patrick will be like, "Why do you keep saying my dad's name?"
Oh, no.
And then Andy gets, then he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he's just like, "I know, my friend Peter. I thought you guys both names. My friend, I have a friend Peter." And I'm just like, God,
It's gotta be hard, dude.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hard being a kid.
Anyways, lost every single bet. I've never experienced this.
I've experienced it multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like on the fight cards, like I will go and like I'll look and I'll have some ideas about the main fights or whatever, and I'll put some money. I'll start my day off, my morning. Oh, let's do this on some of the main fights, right?
Yeah.
And I'll sprinkle a little money over the main card to start the day before, long before the fight card starts. And then as we get closer to the prelims about to begin, what I like to do just to keep the whole fight card interesting is if I have any big long parlays that I feel like I need to do, which I should have done on this card. We'll talk about that in just a second. What I like to do to keep it interesting from the beginning to the end is I'll do 2-fight parlays.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? So it's like we got the 2 fights coming up. Let's do a little 2-fighter for these first 2 fights, right?
Right.
And then as not big money, we're not putting, I'm talking couple dollars, $5, whatever, like just little ones to kind of just keep it interesting.
Sure.
Because you don't want to blow your wad because what if you lose all those? You know what I mean? So it's like just build it up because as you get closer to the bigger fights, I get new ideas about those fights from watching the build up throughout the card on the thing. I'm also looking at shit, watching the embeddeds on my phone while the fight, like just kind of I'm all in on the UFC for a couple hours. So I'll think, okay, so I think, because I'll usually hold off on the finishing method bets. Right, like this fight, this is how it will
finish
end.
by a KO.
I'll do
or
more
submission.
like a main card parlay, or something like that, or whatever.
Like straight, just
this guy, this
like Amanda Nunes is gonna win.
These 3 fighters, bam. But then, like I said, as the day goes on, you hope you win some of those little 2 fighters, give you a little more money. You can make a few more bets on that main card as it rolls up to it, right? And good freaking God, dude. Like, I'm not going to talk about how much money I lost. I'm not going to talk about who I bet on. I'm not going to talk about any of it. Because none of it matters, Joe. Because I lost every fucking bet. Even my 2, like, everything. Not one little measly fucking thing came through.
Wow.
It was crazy, man. I got one parlay got kicked off. right? There was like one fight where it was if this guy wins, it's the beginning of this parlay, right?
Yeah.
He won. I texted over to Alexis a little screenshot of the parlay. I'm like, all right, well, this one's kicked off now, and this was like halfway through the card, and I'd already lost a bunch. He had like he had some money in like free play in his that he was like, I'm not putting any real money. I'm just using free play today. Yeah. And he was done before the main card even started.
Wow. So just a lot of upsets, or just
I don't know. Because not really.
How do you usually choose it? Because I'm a sucker for an underdog.
So the thing about this card is what also factored into it being kind of a little bit of a stinker is that it was a lot of pick'em fights.
Oh.
Right? You may have had a favorite, but it was like plus 115 to minus 120. You know what I mean? It's like so close. Or you literally had pick'em.
Right.
Like, and so wasn't other than like Arena Adana being like a super underdog. Like there wasn't
anything special about
everybody. It should have been evenly matched, and it kind of was. There was some finishes or whatever, but it just lost everything, Joey. And it's like nights like these where it's like, you see, motherfucker, that's why you don't bet. So it's like, I am dumb, I'm stupid, right? I can't just be like Alexis and be like, oh, let me just use this free play to kick me in the ass and make me realize that I shouldn't be betting.
No. I'll still bet no matter what.
I put real money in there.
Me too.
And I just I gotta lose it all before I think. Like, if I'd have won one of those bets, still not breaking even, but just won one bet.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, okay, we're on for next week.
Not this Friday, or not this last Friday, but the Friday before. I put $100 into my bookie. Right? I had up to, after that weekend, I had 180. Now I'm down to $40 in my account.
You gotta keep it flowing, bud. Whatever.
Yeah. You just keep doing
it. So when I talk about the parlays, long parlays that I should have done. So back in Alexis and I's betting heyday, where we were betting every weekend, we were making some money. Sometimes, a lot of you know me. Again, I'm dumb. I'm not a Betalytics guy. All right, I haven't let AI control my betting. Just for
clarification, I don't think Betalytics does MMA.
They don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just so you guys know, I don't believe they do MMA, but I will double check.
Okay. So just like I like a good name, I like a good backstory. A lot of things can sway me to be in your corner in a sporting event. Okay. I like theme parlays, and the reason that is, again, because I'm so stupid, that I won my biggest purse ever on a themed parlay, on the world famous UK parlay that Alexis and I won a couple years ago. All right, it was a big one, and it made me. I was on top of the world. UK parlay, right? It was like the UFC's return to Manchester.
Okay.
And I just went straight, bet on all the hometown. What doesn't matter, favorite or underdog. I just went straight.
Yeah. And you guys knocked it out of the park,
right?
huh?
So then, like a few weeks after that, we had a Canada parlay, and every Canadian lost. So ever since then, I'm anti-Canada.
I've been anti-Canada.
I mean, we know anti-Canada from a betting MMA betting perspective. Joey's just pure anti-Canada.
So Betalytics does baseball, hockey, football, basketball, and soccer. Does not seem like they do MMA just yet, but could be in the future.
Could be. Come on, Betalytics. What are we doing here? It's too unpredictable for them,
bro.
What can the AI do with MMA? If I can't figure it out, how can a computer figure it out?
The computer couldn't deal with the fact that Jose Aldo slipped on the mat,
right?
You know.
So last night's UFC was in Vancouver. It was a big return to Canada. Okay, a lot of Canadian fighters.
Okay,
and I said, nah, I'm not going down that route. Like unless Marc-Andre Barrio. I bet on him just because I felt like he was going to win that fight. You know what I mean? Like things like that. He was in a parlay, and it didn't matter because the parlay was dead before it got to his fight. But
he won.
I did pick him.
So am I safe to assume that every other Canadians
at UFC 289 went 6-0 with very impressive performances?
Wow.
And me, a sucker for a theme parlay. I haven't bet in months.
Yeah.
You think what I do is like, you know what? old dog, same tricks.
Same tricks.
Let's do this Canada parlay. But no, because I let my gut, my grudge against Canada that's been holding over for a year and a half, I let that cloud my judgment. When I should have just went for everybody fighting in their backyard. Even the Romanian chick that just relocated her camp to Canada won.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Son of a bitch. All right, so let's get into these last two fights on the card. I was really looking forward to this one. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. Everybody, if you're a casual, if you don't know who Charles Oliveira is, you don't know MMA. You don't know punch. What do we call it? We don't know ball. That's easy for like bald sports. Puck.
You don't know punch. You don't know bows for elbow.
You don't know glove. You don't know punch. We'll say that. Yeah. You don't know punch.
You don't know.
You don't know punchy punch. If you don't know Charles Oliveira, he's one of the best lightweights of all time.
He is.
The guy's been fighting fucking in the UFC since he was like fucking 19, but he's been fighting since he was like 17 years old. Like, just storied career, fantastic lightweight champion, just all around good guy. Seems like just a real beauty of an MMA. Definitely a Hall of Famer, I would think, once his career's over. Just so no need to talk about why you're interested in a Charles Oliveira fight, right? Because you should be interested in all of his fights. Yeah. And he's coming back. This was his first fight after losing his title.
Yeah, he lost, right? He lost
his title to Islam Makhachev. Yeah. And this was his fight to get a rematch. I want to talk about Beneil Dariush in that this is a guy who's was on a 7-fight win streak or 8-fight win streak in the welterweight division, lightweight division, which is notoriously the hardest fucking weight class, most stacked weight class in all of MMA, boxing, like 155, like between 150 and 170. Yeah. Because that's most of the humans in the world. Yeah. It's just like going to a D1 school versus a D4 school. It's like the more bodies
it doesn't matter if you're up standing or if you're on the ground, you're going to meet.
There's more people in the world at those weights, so that's going to be the most stacked weight classes, right? Because more to choose from. Mm-hmm. And Beneil Dariush was on a freaking 8-fight win streak. Again, a sucker for a story. He comes from Iran. I believe he's Assyrian or something like that, or Turkish or something like that. I don't know what he actually is. Paris is one of those snobby Persians. She doesn't say Iranian. She says Persian. That just means they think they're better than anybody else who's just from the country, right? Maybe a different race. Then I also have to remind her that you were born in Orange County, so you're just because you have dual citizenship. Yeah. He was just because his origins may be from another country. He was actually born in your country. That country. So, but anyways, just another guy who has been on a crazy win streak. All probably ranked fights in those eight wins. He just has. There's Patrick. He has like zero internet presence, zero entertainer.
So a little less slow.
Just a super nice guy. Yeah. Doesn't talk shit, just goes out there and fucks people up, just goes out there and shows out every time. Yeah. But we'll talk about it forever, in the Conor McGregor era, like, even though he doesn't fight anymore, I call it the Conor McGregor era because he changed what it means to get big fights in the UFC. You have to have you have to have a following. You have to have people that want to watch you for other reasons other than your skill set, right? Mm-hmm. And that's all sports. Now, we want MMA to be mainstream. Every sport. People have their favorite players, aren't necessarily because they're the best. It's because Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most famous guys in the NFL, and he hasn't fucking played a decent game in 5 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it's just what it is. It's like sports, entertainment. Everything's got an entertainment twist. So with Beneil Dariush just not having that side to his personality, he's suffered because he's right. Nobody has his resume. And people have gotten title shots who don't have his fucking resume. Guys who've gotten rematches. Right. Guys when he should have gotten it, right? So this was a title eliminator. If whoever won this fight is getting the next title shot. So this is a fight going into it where me, as like a big MMA head, I'm like, I feel bad for Beneil because he shouldn't have to fight literally, arguably, one of the best ever
He should have already gotten a shot.
to get the shot.
Yeah.
Just because this guy's not the champ anymore. Now he's got. So he should have already gotten a shot. But the caveat to that, to where you can't feel too bad for him, is if he did get the shot when he deserved it, it would have been against Charles Oliveira because he was champion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Makhachev just got the belt. He's defended it once against a featherweight. He fought Volkanovski. Volkanovski is trying to be double champ. You know what I mean? So he didn't even fight another lightweight in line yet. He just coming off of beating Charles Oliveira. So that means if Beneil got a title shot in the past, it would have been against Charles. And boy, oh boy, that sucked for Beneil Dariush. Charles Oliveira is so damn good. Like, Beneil Dariush is a guy who just doesn't get finished, right? Like, he gets hit and he gets in dogfights all the time, but, like, just one of those brickhead type dudes where it's like you can hit them super hard and they just keep coming forward and
getting back
almost
up.
More dangerous at times when they're a little bit shook up or whatever. Yeah. And Charles Oliveira ate him, dude.
What, did he knock him out?
So fast.
Wow.
Like, first kick thrown, he kicks him right in the side of the fucking head, and then just picks him apart, and then lands the same kick again with it blocked, but it still kicked him so fucking hard that he fucking dodged, dazed him again. Just finished it. It was TK. It wasn't like an out cold knockout, but he just ate his lunch, dude. Just came in there and said, "Give me your fucking lunch money," and I mean,
so now Charles gets his shot.
He gets to go get it back, and God, I hope he wins because he's one guy that I'm always rooting for. Right? Makhachev, he's a wrestler. He's Khabib too. Yeah. Khabib's his coach. He's Khabib too. Yeah. So he's a fucking wrecking machine. Yeah. But Charles Oliveira, like, you just want him to win, and because he's also one of those guys where he'll never sacrifice trying to finish the fight to just like hang on to a victory or he's always trying to finish the fight. And not to say like Makhachev's not trying to finish the fight, but those type of guys are very content with, like, I'm completely dominating you, so I could just do this for 25 minutes and then the fight's, you know what I mean?
Because their stamina runs off forever, and so I can't
doesn't
mind
be anti that because that's a strategy. And I always say, people who don't like that dominant wrestling style MMA, it's like, make them get off you.
True.
You know what I'm? It's almost more humiliating to have a guy blanket you and you being just flopping around like a fish underneath them for 25 minutes than it is for them to put you out of your misery. You know what I mean? Because people will forget a fucking quick submission or a quick knockout. Yeah. Like, but they won't forget how pathetic you looked, right? It's much easier to get a rematch. Like, say it's a championship fight. You're the champion. You get clipped and get knocked out. It's like, fuck, all right, he landed one punch, though, but let's run that back. Right. You get dominated for 25 minutes. Everybody goes, we don't need to see that again.
Right, for sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I was waiting for that to happen.
What is wrong with me?
I don't... No, but that's rough, dude, to get dominated for 25 minutes like that. I mean, it's
but so it didn't happen to Beneil.
No, but I'm just saying, but
he just got crushed real quick by Charles Oliveira, and that's all good. Let's move it on to the Amanda Nunes fight. So this is the last. I'll give up these bets. I had some bets on Irina Aldana. And I have the utmost respect for Amanda Nunes. Right, she is the best women's fighter of all time. There's absolutely zero doubt about that. All right. She lost. She lost her title, but got it right back in dominating fashion, right? So even though that's a loss on her record, it also, to get your title back, that happens so, as rare it is to become a champ, to become double champ, it is so rare for a champion to lose their title and get it back. And not only get it back, but get it back immediately in the next fight. So, she had a GOAT career before this last fight.
Sure.
And she's a mother now. She's married. She has been for years now, but it's like she's got all this other stuff going on. She's uber rich, uber famous, right? All these, me and Alexis talked about this last week on the fight.
No, everyone's going to remember Amanda Nunes,
But we all know that when you get to that level of fame, that level of money, like, fighting is one of those sports where sometimes you got to have that pup in you. Otherwise, that's all. Maybe sometimes that's all that's separating you from everyone else, is that relentless puppy inside of you. But and then she was talking about possibly joining the WWE, in the future and things like that. So all this outside stuff, I'm like, and we all know that her career is coming to an end, sooner rather than later. So I'm like, Arena Aldana's got crazy boxing. She's got power in her legs and in her hands. I mean, she has an up kick from her back, liver kick knockout. Like, the fuck? Like, that's never happened.
Right.
And that just shows you, like, how much some people just have that power where it's unexplained. It's just like you thud, you hit harder. So to be able to up kick, like, she's got power.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that that's the kryptonite to Amanda Nunes. I mean, she knocked out Chris Cyborg, who's got insane power. But I'm just making a list of, is there a reason to bet or to think Arena Aldana is going to win this fight? And I just had a gut feeling.
Sometimes the odds look that good, dude.
But she was a huge underdog, so it didn't look that good. But to me,
no, it does. That when you get that plus 600, plus 700, and you set up that parlay,
and
all of a sudden it's like $10 is $3,000.
All my knowledge of these people's personal lives from social media is making me think that Amanda Nunes might have lost a step or not care as much or something. And boy, was I wrong. Because there was, first off, Arena Aldana did not fight. People were calling her Elsa because she was frozen.
She was letting it go, huh?
No, she was frozen.
Oh.
If she'd have let those hands go, maybe we'd have had a different story. But she didn't fight. I think she, other than round 3, and maybe round 5.
Was it like she got rocked early and
No.
like she just couldn't make a? No.
Didn't throw any punches. She had single-digit punch numbers in all but 2 of the rounds.
Oh my god.
Didn't throw a fucking, like, just didn't do anything.
Wow.
Got taken down at will. Just got completely mollywopped.
Are we smelling a conspiracy?
No, I think that one. I think there's been few fighters, John Jones being one of them, where people get in there with them. And it's easy to say, like, I want a title shot, I want all this stuff and everything, and you think in your head that you have the skill set to beat this
and then you
super
go
dominant
up to the
champion.
champion.
And then you get in there, and they just freeze up sometimes. It happens. It's happened many times. Anderson Silva, that used to happen when people would fight him sometimes, where it's not a critique on Arena Aldana's skill set. It's a critique on her mental game.
Yeah. Because
something kept her, and not to say that the fight would have been any different if she had been throwing equal punches or whatever, but that was her only shot.
Right.
My only shot was of putting money on her. And I put it on a KO. I knew it was a long shot, but I was like, that's the only way she's going to win this fight is if she KOs her. If this fight goes to the judges, it's going to be a one-sided ass whooping, which is what it was, right?
Yeah.
And she just didn't throw anything. Wow. She didn't get my memo, apparently, that I needed her to knock her out. And like I said, that wasn't thinking, she's definitely going to knock out Amanda Nunes, the greatest of all time. No, I was just like, my only chance of winning any money in this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to win money unless let's put $1,000 on Amanda Nunes to win by decision. That's the only way you're going to make a dime. You know what I mean? No, it's like I'm betting small. Yeah. So the only chance to get anything and the only chance Arena Aldana has to win is by knockout. But she would have had to throw some punches. Amanda Nunes, and so this is another funny one, is immediately after Alex texts me and he's just like, bye-bye women's MMA, right? Because this is what has happened. Women's MMA got real popular with Ronda. Mm-hmm. And right as the time where Ronda was getting to the point where she was so dominant that it was getting boring, she gets fucking kicked in the head and knocked out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then the train keeps rolling, right? And that's when Holly Holm becomes champion, Amanda Nunes becomes champion. Like, the entertainment, the interest train keeps rolling. Amanda Nunes has been so dominant. She's dominated Rousey, dominated Holly Holm, dominated Chris Cyborg. Mm-hmm. The featherweight division was created to bring Chris Cyborg to the UFC, and she got fucking knocked unconscious by Amanda Nunes. They brought in a few fighters into 145 to be able to fight her. So the more dominant a champion becomes, the more boring the weight class or the whatever gets. Because it's like, who the fuck? Nobody wants to see. We know what's going to happen.
Right.
Right? And that's kind of your casual fans.
So you wouldn't think that because now she's leaving that it would get more exciting.
This was before she retired.
Okay.
Alexis is like, bye-bye women's division. And as I'm texting, if she doesn't retire soon, they're fucked. And then as she's laying, I look up at the TV and she's laying her fucking gloves down and shit in the octagon and she retires. Right? And she lays both her, you can't see this, but here I even got a little video of it. She tied Anderson Silva for a number of defenses.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
Putting her gloves down. And, so...
The motion of her putting her gloves down was just nuts.
So, literally, one of the greatest careers of all time in MMA.
Yes.
So, hats off. She retires as the GOAT of women's MMA and one of the GOATs of just
all
MMA,
time.
period.
Yeah.
And that's to say, maybe now the bantamweight division, the title she just defended, the kind of the main women's division, that can thrive now because now you've got Juliana Pena, the person who beat her, and then she obviously won the belt back. But so you've got girls that are at the top. Arena Aldana, maybe she'll throw some punches against somebody else, but. Now that division can thrive a little bit and more superstars can be built out of it because they won't all get mollywopped by the champion. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
But the featherweight division, I think featherweight division goes bye-bye completely because
Really?
I think there's 3 fighters in the women's featherweight division.
Oh, wow.
Because it's one of those things where it was either 135ers that were big enough and skilled enough that would say, hey, the UFC could say, why don't you go up to 145? If you win a fight, we'll give you a fight against Amanda. You know what I mean? Like you'll get a title shot.
And
over
that was
there.
the big fight for them, so they would do
right,
it.
of course. Or they're bringing in girls one at a time to just fight her. You know what I mean? Or bringing them in, giving them one fight against probably somebody who just gained some weight from 135.
Right.
They would inevitably win that fight, and then they'd fight for the title. They'd get beat. They're gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like UFC just cut Megan Anderson, like arguably the most, like other than Amanda Nunes, like the most popular internet-wise of all the 145 pound women fighters. They just cut her because she got fucking mollywopped.
Now, like Demopolis, right?
She's 135.
Okay.
She's 125.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. There's 115, 125, 135, 145.
And you're saying 125 is just gonna
145.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, the higher you get in weight, there's much less women that weigh that much, but are also professional athletes.
Right.
Not that that's a knock on women in any way. I'm just saying, usually when you're getting up closer to 200 pounds, you're finding much less giant women that are ripped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they usually look like me and Joey with after we're freshly shaven. But so yeah. Anywho,
Shout out to the GOAT. Shout out to the
GOAT. A little quick look at NBA because we know ball. We just want you to know that we know ball. Jokic, Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets they're in complete control of this thing.
They are. I made a parlay on player props for these guys, and it was a seven man. You know, ranging from Jimmy Butler getting these amount of points per game to rebounds and all. You know, who's going to take the first shot? You know,
sure.
$10 was a $3,000 ticket, and
I bet you didn't win $3,000.
None of them. I hit,
but it
none.
looks so tasty.
Yeah, I hit none, and I've needed Miami to pull one out these past what has it been 2-3 games since we last talked, and no, they haven't done anything.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are we looking at a double Florida choke?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so, man. As much as it sucks to say, not to say that the two teams that they're playing against deserve to be there. They've been dominating, right? They've done everything throughout these playoffs. Not to say that Miami and the Panthers don't deserve to be here, but they got in here on a wild card, right? So, you know, I mean, it's not.
It's kind of what the purists have been complaining about, in that a lot of guys who are like, whether it's hockey and their original 6 guys, and they're just like, whatever, these new teams, blah blah blah, like hockey doesn't belong in the South, or blah, you know, this kind of stupid rhetoric shit.
Yeah,
it's kind of proving them right in the fact of like in NBA, it's like playing team's never going to win the championship, right? Oh shit, a playing team's in the championship.
Yeah.
But now they're probably going to lose.
Well, and not to I know we're supposed to be talking about basketball, but not to when you watched Florida come back, not even just beat.
Now let's talk hockey.
Okay. And when you watched Florida not only come back but, beat fucking Boston.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in my head, they could have gone the whole way, and which they have, right? And so now you're watching them play this put together team, which I know we hate Las Vegas.
Oh, we do now?
But it's undoubted, dude, at how put together this team is. Okay, at how put together this team is, and it's just clear domination.
It is.
Like,
it's defensive dominant. Obviously, they're scoring a lot.
Like the Oilers had an easier time playing against these guys than these guys are now. And I can't stand Canada.
It's another thing that is it seems like everybody should realize it, but because these guys and gals are so much better than us, they're professional athletes. It's like, oh, so you mean in professional sports, the first place team versus the 8th place team,
right?
There's not that big a difference between the two. It's like, no, it's a game of fucking inches, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A game of inches. That brings me to Aiden Hill.
Oh my God.
Who has been making these game of inch saves.
He has shown the hell up, dude.
And I just want to also remind everybody that he used to be a San Jose Shark. So let's just chalk this up to the players who have been members of the San Jose Sharks.
And we build them up.
And then they leave and they have success somewhere else.
It's it's been amazing. But I think the biggest issue is that the Florida Panthers are their own biggest enemies. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Taking penalties, unnecessary. Ryan Lomberg cross-checking somebody in the middle, in the face.
Right.
In the middle of the ice.
Oh, yeah. The game last night, at the end of the game, it just turned into a big freaking,
Well, they've been relying on that aggressiveness this whole time.
The thing about Aiden Hill is that he gets into fights. He loves getting into a good scrap, dude. And last night when the game ended, a big old full team brawl broke out, and he was right there in the middle of it, throwing fucking punches. What was it? Nick Hague comes running out of the penalty box. They came out of the penalty box to fight at the end of the game.
No.
It was great. It was fantastic. Wait, was it Nick Hague? I don't know. Whoever was in the penalty box came out. So Aiden Hill, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, beauty.
But this is why Nick Hague was on my mind. Is he's a real beaut, okay? Because a few games ago there was another big brawl at the end of the game.
Yeah, and
he got fucking jacked in the face. Was being held by the neck by one Florida Panther, and then Kachuk fucking gives him 2 fucking socks to the face. And as the camera pans out, he's just looking up at the scoreboard, up at the mega jumbotron, just smiling, getting held across the throat, just smiling after getting punched in the face. And one of the reporters asked him, "What's up with the smile, dude, after getting punched in the face?" And his reply is, "I'm playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm having the time of my life. It's a dream come true to be at this stage. I'm a pretty happy guy." After getting punched in the face.
Fucking beauty.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that to me is, obviously we all need a little more gratitude. Let's be, if your life sucks, your life sucks.
Right.
Well, I can't help you, but for those of us who, we could all use a little gratitude of where we are in our life. And yes, I could imagine it would suck being held by your neck and getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
But then when you just have a little perspective and you look up at that jumbotron and you're like, holy shit, I'm in the NHL finals. I literally practiced this fight in my bedroom when I was 9.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Nick Hague on that one.
For sure.
Because that's the perspective we all need in our lives. So reason number 87 million that hockey's better than everything else. You just went to a wedding.
Yep.
Let's talk about Brady Kachuk's wedding that's coming up this summer after the season's over. And you may know his brother, Matthew Tkachuk, is on the Florida Panthers. Currently having a real rough time. He's a little injured too.
I was gonna say they were talking about his status.
He only skated
16 minutes.
16 minutes last night. They put him out there right at the end, and he almost tied the damn game. So he's obviously a factor, and him not having minutes is not good for the Florida Panthers. But also, one of his enemies right now, Mark Stone, captain of the Las Vegas Knights, you may remember, was in Ottawa for a long time with Brady Tkachuk, and he is a groomsman in the wedding.
Oh, no way!
And Matthew Tkachuk obviously is a groomsman as well in the wedding. So Brady Tkachuk said this. He goes, "This could be a pretty awkward bachelor party." Mark's one of my groomsmen as well, and Matthew, of course, is my best man.
Shoot.
So, motherfucker. I mean, like, the best way. I mean, would it be better if it got stretched to a game 7 and then you could have just a little, oh shit, man, we all both did our best.
Yeah, right.
But no, Vegas,
Yeah.
They're pretty in control of this thing right now, and it's been a pretty chippy series, to say the least, caused mostly by Matthew Tkachuk.
Yes. Yeah.
So I agree.
This will be an interesting one. I like that.
How do we get tickets to that wedding, dude?
Brady, send them this way, please.
Yeah, Brady Tkachuk, Peak One Sports, press passes for your wedding. Yeah. Send them to the bunk. Me and Joey just want to be a fly on the wall, dude.
Yeah,
we'll be the bartenders.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep feeding Matthew.
I'll work.
Just keep feeding him drinks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. And then go getting in Mark Stone's ear.
Hey, man, you let him do that to you?
Dude, I know, shit happens on the ice, but should he be talking about that shit at the wedding?
Believe this? You guys could have went to a game 7.
Yeah.
And you didn't play.
You didn't. Oh, God. All right. One last hockey thing, and this is on a negative note. And this is going to prove a lot of the purist guys who don't like this Vegas versus Florida matchup for the game of hockey is average viewer count for 2022 finals in Game 1 and Game 2 last year. 4 million. Average viewer count for Game 1 and Game 2 this year, 2.6. So we lost half viewers just based on the teams that are involved.
Yeah.
Isn't that, I mean, I get it because and this is why we hate cashes. We hate cashes. We don't like you casuals out there because you ruin shit sometimes, right? It's like, if you're going to, we're playoff daddies.
Yeah.
But it's like, we'll tune into all the playoff games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If I'm going to tune in, I'm going to be invested in the playoffs, not just this series because this team's involved or this one because this team's involved.
Right.
Especially as you're getting to the finals.
Right.
You watch the finals. Yeah, I don't care if it's baseball. I know how much the suits at Peak One Sports hate baseball.
I think it just goes to show
and they don't like us talking about baseball.
I think it just goes to show how much people don't like the Vegas Golden Knights. You know what I mean?
That's got to be it, dude.
It's got to be
some Florida fans out there. You know what I mean?
Florida's been a team a lot longer.
I mean, Tampa Bay's been in the finals the last fucking million years. So it's like there are people in Florida tuning in. Because Vegas is such a fake place.
It is.
It's not even a real city.
No.
It's kind of like Los Angeles. It's built up of people that came from other places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
They got no loyalty.
No way. Take that. Knights, A's, and freaking Raiders.
Panthers and 7.
Yeah, Panthers and 7.
Panthers and 7. All right, Joey, you got some quickies for us.
I do.
We're running out of time. I talked too much today.
I wanted to bring this up. So Manchester City wins the championship league.
Right.
And Ilkay Gundogan, right? There's talks about Saudi offering him a contract as well.
Oh, they're going to offer everybody.
Yeah,
now
dude.
that this is the thing, is like they just gave that freaking French striker, I can't remember what the fuck his name was last week. They gave him like fucking 300 million or 600. What was it? It was something crazy.
Yeah, but they talked about him going.
And
over
it's
there.
like Ronaldo took money
went.
too.
Yeah, he did.
You
He's
know,
in
and
Al
it's like
Nassr.
now that they've bought the PGA, now that they bought Newcastle, they've attempted to buy F1. Like they're getting in. They're gonna buy everybody and everything.
Break up the bunker buster. What are they called?
And now that what, Monopoly?
Union busters, or
I don't know, but they're creating a monopoly.
Yeah,
you're right. They're gonna own all sports, and they're just their plan is working, doing what they wanted. They're trying to buy the world's forgiveness. I don't know what you want to call it. They're trying to buy the world's appeasance by just buying all our favorite shit.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, this PGA thing fucks it all up of anybody even saying no.
Yeah.
Right? Because we tried the moral stance no to hundreds of millions of dollars.
And it did not work.
And you know what I mean? It doesn't work. So now try to get anybody to say no that's not getting like a messy type deal somewhere else where maybe the contractual money's not as much, but the other incentives are going to over time.
And let me just say this. For the people who are sitting there saying they would not take that money, have somebody write a $138 million check in front of you and try to say no. You know what I mean? Like that.
I'll stop calling MBS Bonesaw Man.
If he writes a,
if he wrote, I mean, probably
if it's real, right? If he wrote that check,
he wouldn't even have to deliver it in person as long as it's
mailed. You know, yeah.
He could Zelle me. I don't care.
What would he write in the notes? Welcome.
Welcome. He Venmos you, and then you get the 15% fee for transferring it to your bank, and it's like $6 million fee. It's like whatever. I don't want it in 1 to 3 business days. I want it now.
What if he offered the suits like a primetime spot for Peak One?
Are they buying Peak One?
Oh,
is Muhammad Bonesaw Man buying Peak One?
We're taking that money.
We need to have some meetings.
Yeah, we gotta get this.
He
going.
wants a seat on the board. He wants a seat on the board.
Next one is the Conn Smythe Trophy odds. All right, we talked a little bit about this before, right? We were pretty big on Kachuk to get it, but right now, Johnny Marchessault is at a minus 600 for the odds, and he is leading the pack. Like, it is clear he's minus 600. Aiden Hill's at a plus 1,000, and everyone is after 1,000 over there.
You know, and check this out, dude. This is another reason why I'm stupid. All right, I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, and most of them are betting related. Again, not because I'm like betting that much anymore. Recent mistakes aside,
I will always bet. I'm sorry, dude.
Extra Points, one of the podcasts I listen to, Cousin Sal, Jimmy Kimmel's cousin, put in a future on Jonathan Marchessault at minus 530. I mean, plus 530.
Oh my god.
For Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, does that look real good right now. Because at the time, I'm like, it's going to be Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he had 31 saves in a game.
He had it written all. He had the Jaguar rub on him where he was playing so well that even if Florida lost, if he kept his play the same, you could be a losing goaltender winning the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like Jaguar's the only person to do that. Yeah, of course it was for the Ducks because they're a bunch of losers, right? But so I was thinking, dude, Bobrovsky might be a good pick.
Yeah.
Even if they lose. But his odds, it wasn't worth it.
He's at a plus 2,000 right now,
It'd be good to take it now if you think he can have a big comeback.
Yeah, no, so it goes Johnny Marchessault, Aiden Hill, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Matthew Tkachuk, Sergei Bobrovsky.
So we've got
William Karlsson.
We've got game 5 coming up, right, in that series. Now, if Vegas puts it away right now, is it Aiden Hill or Marchessault? So if it goes another game, if Marchessault drains a couple goals in this next game, then yeah. But if the game was to end in game 5, nothing crazy, Marchessault doesn't score.
No. I think he still gets it though. I mean, he had a hat trick in the beginning of the series, right? And he's scored I think every game.
Oh yeah.
He's put points up.
But Aiden Hill's made one of those fucking saves almost every game too, like
that's
just
true.
The one. And with goalies, that's kind of all it takes because
that's true.
It's a game of one goal at a time.
That's true.
And So and he won that. He kept that game from going to OT last night.
Yeah, he did.
With one of those toe saves. You know what I mean? So it's true. Like if Marchessault doesn't score and the game ends tomorrow,
is it
Aiden Hill might be a decent.
He might. He's at a plus 1,000, guys. Take a chance.
I think if the game goes, if the series goes to game 6,
Betalytics.
I mean, it's going to go to game 7 because Panthers in 7. But Panthers in 7, Bobrovsky,
keep the dream alive.
Bobrovsky for the Conn Smythe. Trust my gut. Trust my gut.
Oh, Betalytics, guys. Code PEAK1, 25% off. Another one in the news. Heat's mascot sent to the ER.
Oh, by Conor McGregor.
After Conor McGregor punched this guy.
Why does Conor McGregor still need so much shine?
From knocking out mascots to throwing dollies at tour buses.
And remember, he fucking punched that old man for not
Yeah,
drinking his whiskey in that bar one time?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He's a menace, dude.
Yeah.
He changed. He's like, I don't even know what he is now because now he's on the Ultimate Fighter, right? The
He's
Ultimate Fighter's
going
on.
up against Michael Chandler.
I guarantee you. All right, this is something you can put money on if there was odds for it. Him and Michael Chandler are not going to fight.
No.
They will not fight.
No.
They're not going to fight. But Conor McGregor.
Do you think one of them is going to be subbed out, or do you think it's just going to cancel the fight?
The fight hasn't. There's no the fight hasn't even been planned yet. Conor McGregor.
Or like just started like 2 weeks ago.
They filmed it fucking 6 months ago, dude.
Oh.
Like,
well, they filmed the ultimate. They filmed the fighting. They're not the. They haven't filmed the last two fights yet, have they?
Well, of course not. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying the build up for this Chandler McGregor thing happened a year ago when they announced that they were going to be on the show as coaches.
No. It's a reality show, so I thought they shoot as they.
No.
Oh.
They were no. It's all pre-recorded except for the finale is like a fight will be on a fight night. Probably.
I don't know if I believe that.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I believe that.
Believe what I'm telling? Like, no, the fighters that are on the show are at home right now, just not being able to tell their family what happened.
No way, bro.
You don't know that's how game shows work?
It's not how it works,
reality
dude.
shows?
Nope.
Not everything's keeping up with the Kardashians, dude. But yeah, so I don't even know what Conor McGregor is at this point because I don't know if he ever fights again. He's got so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
But if he does, it's not going to be Michael Chandler.
And he shattered that fucking leg, right? Or he'd fucking
right. Why do it?
Yeah.
You're just bloated, fucking gacked
He's
up
huge.
on fucking just totally gacked on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
On a Lamborghini yacht.
He's freaking huge, dude.
Okay.
This is not related to sports, but I saw it on Barstool and I thought it was hilarious. Teenager is being sued for $500K for making a TikTok of licking other people's sushi. So he was at one of those like sushi.
Hell yeah.
So just a headline I wanted to read to you.
That's pretty tight.
And now I want to end with this because I know how much you love them. The Savannah Bananas had their first. They had their first game against the Aussie Drop Bears. So an Australian team came to America to play their version of the Savannah Bananas.
The Drop Bears. They have those little like koala type things that aren't Drop Bears koalas?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because they fall out of the trees and fall on people.
Yeah, and they had didgeridoos. They were out there. It was really cool.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Oh, it's dope, dude. They had didgeridoos. The Drop Bears had a proposal out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was beautiful, man.
Yeah. No, I'm just anti Savannah Banana because I don't like dancing. I'm like fucking John Lithgow in Footloose, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
No dancing. No dancing. All right. You know what? I just decided because we're running long. We don't even need to go over any fucking picks, all right? Because
are you just tired of being wrong?
The games are obsolete. One, I'm tired of being wrong, all right? And two, Joey went 2 for 2. We'll just say that last week. But again, the games we picked don't even matter anymore because there's only 2 real sports going on.
So how about this? How about we pick this? Do we go to a game 6? I'm sorry. Do we go to game 7?
In what?
In both.
In both. Okay, because they're both 3-1 right now, right?
Yeah, they are.
As we speak.
Yeah.
And that's a good one. I'm gonna say, God. Like, do I keep it kayfabe?
It's not working out for you.
Do I keep it kayfabe or do I act like a real sports analyst and tell you what I think is really gonna happen, or do I keep it kayfabe?
You keep it kayfabe. I'll go sports analyst.
All right, Panthers in 7. Because that's how I really feel.
And Miami Nuggets. What do you think?
That Nuggets. This one's done. Game 5. Nuggets
are
gonna close that out, but Panthers in 7. I promise I'm not lying.
Yeah, Nuggets game 5 and Knights game 5.
Okay.
I think they're back in their barn for this one. So
a couple shout outs this week. I added one. I know you can't see this, but I need this up just so I can see what I said here. I want to to keep it in the baseball realm. Because you know how big of a baseball fan I am. But this harkens back to the days when I still was really into baseball. You remember Tom Glavine?
No.
Great pitcher from the Atlanta Braves.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Dude, this is crazy. All right.
It looks crazy.
On this day in shut the fuck up. On this day in 1984, he had already been drafted 47th overall by the Braves. But a few days later, he was drafted 69th overall by the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL. What the fuck? Like, I've heard, you hear all kinds of things, you know, quarterbacks that were drafted as pitchers,
right.
You know, whether fucking Brett Favre or fucking any of these other guys, you know, Dak Prescott, or there's tons of guys who have been drafted as
dual
pitchers.
sports, right? Yeah.
But hockey and pitching.
That's crazy.
That's crazy,
that is
right?
Crazy, yeah.
I love it, dude. Shout out to Tom Glavine, because now we can officially put you in the real sports category because you're a hockey player.
Yeah.
Not that, you know, other, because I mean, we know ball.
We know ball.
So we know baseball.
Yeah.
Don't act like we don't know baseball. We know ball.
We know ball.
Especially the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mr. October. But yeah, shout out Tom Glavine for being a complete pup, dude.
That's awesome, dude.
complete puppy, dude, on that one. And then lastly, before we get out of here, shout out to the Iron Sheik, R.I.P. 1942 to 2023. What an epic run.
He did, man.
Just possibly one of the best, if not the best, heel in professional wrestling or professional sports history.
Yeah.
This is a lot of everybody. We're on YouTube. We're a couple YouTubers now, Joey. We're talking to a younger generation.
We're can we be called influencers?
We're YouTube influencers. So a lot of people are like, "Who the fuck is Iron Sheik?" People who aren't that young might still be like, "Oh, he's just that crazy old Iranian dude who says crazy shit on Twitter to try to be famous." So then they make a documentary about him, that kind of stuff. But if you think about the time when he was the biggest heel, one of the biggest faces of the WWF or whatever, his character was such a crazy choice at the time, right? Because when he came out as the Iron Sheik, this was a very tumultuous time between Iran and the United States and the rest of the world, because it was when the Ayatollah took over. The Americans put him in power.
Yep.
They took over a freaking basically it was still a Muslim country, but it was as democratic as you could get. People didn't have to wear headscarves. They were wearing bathing suits at the fucking beach. It was as westernized as you could get in a Middle Eastern Islamic country. And then we put the Ayatollah in power. He changes that whole thing into a religious dictatorship. The Iron Sheik comes to America and decides to take on that persona as this evil Middle Eastern dictator.
Right.
And brings that to the WWF. That's all American white people.
Right.
That fuck it. Talk about Roddy Piper like getting death threats and stuff just because he was such a bad guy in the ring or whatever. Imagine the life that the Iron Sheik had in a time where you weren't just a asshole in the ring on TV. They hated your personality. They hated your character. Right. They hated that country. They hated everything.
That's who you were. Yeah.
So imagine in a time where you're not just dealing with wrestling fans, but people who don't even know who you are. Just the fact that you're putting on that persona, they fucking hate you.
Yeah, and probably I think Hulk Hogan was his main rival. I am a real American, dude.
Fucking
you know what I mean,
dude?
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
So just in the landscape of WWF heel storylines today, I know people love it today. I've aged out of it.
Well, there's nothing like what they did back then, though. The stuff that they're doing is cool now, but
I mean,
what they did back then,
eras, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not our thing anymore, because like even when I was growing up, the Attitude Era, I'll take that over that Hulk Hogan.
I watched WrestleMania this year. I mean,
I'm just saying,
it's on Peacock.
Still there. People are still loving it. It's probably bigger than ever, but let's give the Iron Sheik his due. If you're a fan of the heel, if you're even in MMA, even in Antonio Brown in the NFL, and all the sports have their heels.
Yeah, they do.
They've got their Jacob Trubas and their fucking, you know what I mean? They got Brandon Prusts.
Yeah.
They've got
Ryan Reeves.
Every sport has their heels.
Yeah.
They're John Rocker.
Evander Kane.
John Rocker getting batteries thrown at him, and he comes in to make a save. You know what I mean? Because he's such a racist piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, every sport has their heels. Shout out Iron Sheik.
Yep.
Fucking Hall of Fame.
Yep.
He's a wrestling goat.
Yeah, he is, man.
That's it, man. Good show, Joey.
Yeah, man.
We're not too over. Hour 40.
We probably talked too much in the beginning, huh?
That's why they love us. People don't come to us for sports. We're just obligated to put some sports in this show.
Because it's a sports show.
Because it's a sports network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the suits have their thumb on us.
It's hard. Yeah.
Andy shit his pants for the first time as a bigger child this week, and I could have talked about that, but we didn't because it's a sports show. You know what I mean, Andy? If you're watching this in a few years, Andy, and your classmates are saying, "Hey, I saw this Bungalow sports show from like 15 years ago. You shit your pants when you were 8, loser." All right, that's been a show.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate you every time you sit in that chair.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Next week we'll get you a bigger square on the screen.
We'll see what we can do. I mean, don't make any promises you can't keep.
I'll push it through.
Oh, okay.
I'll push it through.
All right.
All right.
Betalytics, guys.
Thank you.